going to show you today is how I'm going to cook my broccoli lancer. I actually picked these today on the allotment when I went up this morning, and usually sort of like they're a type of purple sprouting broccoli, and usually they're ready from January through to about March, Aprilish time. Mine have only just started to start producing, so I can harvest some, and it's the end of February, so they're a little behind. I'm not quite sure why, but there we go. So these lancer broccoli are really lovely. They actually come in two tones. You get the purple ones, and then on the same plant you get like little yellow ones as well. But as I say, they're a type of purple sprouting broccoli. Usually when most people cook these, they will just boil them in water until they're done and then just put them on the plate there. But I'm going to do something ever so slightly different. I'm going to boil them to start with, and then I'm going to saute them with some onions and some garlic. So hopefully that'll give them just a little bit more flavour. And let me show you how to do that. Now the first thing we must do is to wash them very, very well. Because we've grown these ourselves and we've had the netting off of them, there is a chance that there are some, possibly some little caterpillars in there. So make sure that you give them a really good wash and then go through very, very carefully each little section, just to make sure that there's nothing hiding in there that shouldn't be. Sometimes they really get down quite low, so if you do find any, just use a knife and just scrape them out. So I'll carry on looking through these, and when I've finished, then I'll come back to you. Right, so here they are all washed. Now we want to cut them so that they're roughly the same size. Obviously if we cook that one and we cook that one, they're going to cook at slightly different times. This one will be ready and this one won't be. So what we need to do is we need to cut them so that they're all roughly the same size. Now you need to really go for the smallest one. So as long as they're all roughly about that sort of size, then they'll be fine. That's okay. It's a little bit bigger, but that's all right. Once you've cut them to their size that you need them, then just put them into a colander just like that. So I'll go through all of these and I will cut them up so that they're all roughly the same size. I didn't find any little creepy crawlies in them at all, so that was quite surprising actually. But if you do, if you miss some, don't worry, because when they cook they will boil and then they usually fall out anyway. So don't worry if you do miss some. So that's these nearly all cut up, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Now in here I've got a large saucepan and I've got some water in here which is just about to come up to boil. Put a little bit of salt in there. It's about half a teaspoon. Put the lid back on and wait for it to come up to the boil before you put the broccoli in. Now you can see that the water has come up to the boil, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of this in together. Just give it a little bit of a push down so that it's all underneath the water, or practically underneath the water. Put the lid back on, bring it up to the boil and boil it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Right, so this has been boiling for about 2 to 3 minutes. What you need to do then is you need to strain it all and put the broccoli straight into some cold water. There's lots of cold water in here. This will stop it from cooking any further and it will keep it nice and bright green. So now let's move on to the next bit. Now in this pan I've got about a tablespoon's worth of oil. You can use whatever oil you have knocking about, whether it's vegetable, sunflower, olive oil. It's entirely up to you. Switch it on because the oil needs to warm up, and turn it down to a medium heat whilst you get the onions and the garlic ready. Now here I've chopped up a medium onion, just in nice small sections, and here I've got 2 cloves of garlic, and all I'm going to do with these is I'm going to cut this up very, very small as well. Okay, this garlic actually is mine. This is what I grew last year. I've got a little bit left, so I'm gradually using it up. We do go through quite a lot of garlic. The onion, however, is not mine, I'm afraid, because we've eaten all of the onions that I grew last year. So make sure that your garlic is cut up nice and small, and by the time you've done that, your oil should be lovely and warm. Right, so the oil is nice and warm now. All we need to do is to add in the onions first. If it sizzles too much, just turn it down a little bit. We just need to cook these until they're nice and soft. This could take just a couple of minutes. Don't add the garlic in at the same time, because if the garlic cooks for too long, it will burn. And burnt garlic tastes very horrible and bitter. Now the onions have been cooking for a few minutes now, and they've started to go nice and soft. And now is the time to add in the garlic. So pop that in, make sure you get all of it, and then give that a nice little quick mix round. And now all we need to do is to add the Lancer broccoli. I've drained it, and as you can see, it's still kept its beautiful bright green colour. So we will stick that in as well. A little bit of salt and pepper just to bring out the flavours. And then using 2 spatulas, we will just toss it through so it warms up the broccoli, the sprouting broccoli. It doesn't take long. If you're clever, you can flip it, but I can't do that. So just for about another minute or so, we'll just cook that through, and that will just warm through the broccoli that was in the water. Okay, so that's been cooking through for about another minute. All we need to do then is just to empty it out into a nice dish. Make sure that you scrape as much of the pan as you possibly can, and if you would like to, you can serve it just as it is like that, or you could sprinkle just a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. So there we go. An interesting way of using sprouting broccoli. You can do the same with broccoli and cauliflower. It doesn't have to be boring. Broccoli and cauliflower are just amazing stuff if it's cooked right. It needs to still be al dente, which is slightly crisp. It gives it a nice sort of nutty flavour as well. But do try this. It makes a lovely side vegetable. Well, I hope you found that interesting, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.